There are 3 pieces of gear that almost every filmmaker buys at some point. I'm not talking about cameras, I'm talking about the stuff that we buy because it looks professional and it feels like the gear we need to level up your filmmaking game. And one of them might actually surprise you. So in this video we are covering why filmmakers actually want these things and whether you actually need them for yourself. Let's go into it. First thing, the matte box. A matte box sits in front of your lens and blocks unwanted light, basically a lens hood on steroids. It also holds ND filters or diffusion filters in place. Now, why filmmakers want it? Honestly, because it makes the camera setup look way more professional. Every Hollywood set uses matte boxes, but here's the reality. You buy it, you put it on once, and you feel amazing. And then you show up to your next shoot and it stays in the bag. Because it adds so much bulk to your setup, and when you're changing from handheld to gimbal, it can actually slow you down. Matte boxes make sense on high-end narrative films and commercials with a full crew and hours per setup. For everything else like corporate, social media or music videos, they're often just in the way. My opinion, most filmmakers actually don't need one. If 90% of your work is corporate or social media, just skip it. It's probably going to sit on your shelf most of the time. So let's go to the next item, and I think some will disagree with me on this one. Anamorphic lenses. Anamorphic lenses optically squeeze a wider image onto your camera sensor. You de-squeeze the image in post and get a wider aspect ratio, oval bokeh and those horizontal lens flares. Why does everyone want them? Obviously because they make the image look like a big budget movie. Those flares are in every blockbuster, every cinematic short on YouTube, every music video trying to feel expensive. But here's the reality. The workflow is more complex than most people expect. You're shooting squeezed, autofocus is basically gone, they're heavier and slower to work with. But the biggest thing, for most client work, nobody notices. The client cannot tell the difference between an anamorphic and a well-graded spherical lens. And on top of that, clients often want to use the same shots in horizontal and vertical content. So an anamorphic aspect ratio makes it way harder to reuse the footage for social media. My verdict, the anamorphic look is genuinely beautiful, no question about that. But only buy them when your projects especially demand that look, not because you want to feel like a cinematographer. Get a great set of spherical lenses first, you'll end up using them way more often. Okay, so let's go to the item 3, and this is a special one because I never understood why people try to save money here. Cheap variable ND filters. An ND filter is like sunglasses for your lens. It takes away the light so you can slow down your shutter speed and get cinematic motion blur even in bright conditions. A variable ND filter lets you dial in exactly how much light you want to reduce. So, a really important part of your image, right? But why does anyone buy the cheap ones if it's so important? Because it sounds like a smart buy. Most filmmakers think it can't be that much of a difference between a cheap one and the expensive one. But here's the reality. Color cast, sharpness loss and the X pattern on cheap ND filters. My verdict, don't buy a cheap variable ND filter. Invest in a quality one like Polar Pro. They still have downsides compared to fixed ND filters, but if you need the flexibility of the variable ND filter, do yourself a favor and buy a good one right away. The difference in image quality is immediately visible and you'll never go back. So what item did you buy and end up never using? Help me out in the comments below so I can make part 2 of this video. And if you want to see what gear I actually use on every single video shoot, follow this channel so you don't miss out on the next video.